Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Shivaya.
Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Modi ji ki jai. So happy to see all of you. If you're in the hangout, the way to ask questions is just to unmute your mic. And if you're outside the hangout, you can type your question in the application. The question and answers application is there. You can type it in that. Don't try to be enlightened. Don't try to be awake. This burden of being enlightened or being awake seems like the heaviest for the mind. So if it's coming from a personal idea, then don't try to make the person enlightened. No one can carry this burden. If you believe the idea that I am an enlightened person, then it will create too much expectation out of yourself and it will lead to too much guilt onto your own self. If you start believing the thought that I am an enlightened person, then you will have so much expectation built into that. And then when times that anger comes or grief comes, then you will say, oh, I'm not there yet. See, and then frustration will come. We are not giving anything to the person. There is nothing here for the idea of the person, which is called the ego. There is nothing here for the ego. And yet you are here, you see. Most of you know by now that here there is nothing available for the ego. And yet you come. That means something deeper than the mind, something deeper than the ego recognizes that there is something here. The presence of truth is here. You see this? Then what draws you here? If there is nothing but torture or boredom here for the mind, then what draws you here? There's a deeper longing to be in the presence of the truth, in the presence of your own heart. This resonance which is available here is what draws you here. But don't leave here with any concepts. Don't leave here even with the concept of freedom. If you leave here with the idea that I have got something now, then that is not the purpose of satsang. If you see that what I am is always what I have been, then that is realization. Mhm. Like we often say in satsang that the weight of a person is very heavy to carry. The weight of being an enlightened person will be even heavier to carry. Nobody can do it. Nobody can carry this concept of being an enlightened ego for any length of time. Who needs enlightenment? Who needs enlightenment? Does awareness need any light? Does consciousness have a lack of any light? It is the light of the universe itself. Therefore, to say that you are enlightened must mean that you have stopped believing in the darkness. Only a question of belief. Must mean that you have stopped believing in the ego. And once belief is withdrawn from the darkness, then the light of being is ever present. So, if anything, all that happens is the switching of this belief. The switching of this belief from the ego to the self. Wow, there's something long. Okay, Mancha. Okay. Namaste, namaste everyone. Shanti said, Satsang on Saturday triggered something here. It may be just the workings of a very clever mind or a real insight into a very subtle type of avoidance. You spoke a bit about being neutral, Father. I see this neutrality here, but have a sense of equanimity with and have a sense of equanimity with all appearances. But I also can see that maybe there is some desire to escape into the non-feeling zone where there is a safety from the emotions. There is resistance to experiencing strong emotions of all kinds, but definitely prefer the more positive ones as long as they are not too intense. So it is seen that the concept of neutrality is very appealing and being used to protect a fragile ego. It is a great discovery, but it is still hard to let go of this habit. I suppose each time there is a strong emotion coming, rather than withdrawing into the neutral state of mind, which is just a concept, to just let it play out while remaining the neutral witness of it, they're letting the emotion do what it wants. There is fear in this possibility. Please guide me more in this, Father. I am at your feet and trust you completely. Very good. Very good. All of you started noticing these very subtle tendencies. You see? This is very good. It's like uh, when some suffering is arising, Many will go back to the self inquiry, who am I? And I don't want to say that you must not do this. Though the better question would be that if it is coming from a place of fear, we want to apply a band-aid quickly, when some emotions are rising. Then it might even be better to ask who is feeling the fear of these emotions? Who is fearful of these emotions? So, what can happen is that when we are completely open to the flow of all of these emotions and we are not buying any belief from the interpreter, then these can be released. But if we keep running away from them, if we keep running away from them, it is a form of repression actually. Mhm. So the simple inquiry that you can do is to look at who is this one, who the emotions are touching. Hmm? Who is the experiencer of these emotions? Is there an entity there? It's very good you say this because also that because also what happens is that let me get some water and tissues and come back. Don't run from any emotion. Let it play out. And you will find that not sure what's exactly going on with the body here. It's very amusing to see though. Yeah. Even this is a beautiful example, you see. So all this something stuck, some energy, something is here, and the witness of it is completely untouched, unmoved by any of these. So the body can go to pieces, but what I am, what you are, cannot be touched by any of this. So there are many misconceptions that when I'm free, this body will become invincible. See, just like saying that if I'm free, then my car cannot break down. It does not happen like that. The body stays a mortal body. See? Otherwise, the sages, all the sages who have lived in the past would still be around, isn't it? Their bodies would still be around. It doesn't work like that. So we don't have to believe any of these concepts. that my body should now behave differently because there is freedom. In the same way, you must not feel that the emotions should stop arising. That's another misconception we have, that the state of the one that is free is always in a particular way. It is not like that. Hmm? But what there is there is no resistance. There is no resistance. So all emotions, all states can come. And to not defend is the most powerful position because there is no fear. So no running from anything. Because if you run from it, even if you use the inquiry to run from it, what is going to happen is that it is going to keep coming back and it will have a sense of reality about it. What can make you run? What can make you run? Only the idea of you can run, isn't it? What you are does not need to run from anything at all. You see, and when we ask, so if a strong emotion comes and there is a sense of belief about it, when we ask who is feeling this emotion, it's not necessary that this emotion goes away. It can stay for a while. That is one difference between thought and emotion, isn't it? The difference between thought and feeling is that thought seems to be very fleeting. Unless strongly resisted, it seems very fleeting. It comes and goes. In fact, you have to now work hard to hold on to it. This emotion, it can seem to linger longer. That's why we don't say that let go of the emotion. We still say let go of the interpreter. Let go of what the interpreter is saying about the emotion. Because if you try to let go of the emotion, there's this expectation that you're pushing it away. So if some anger is coming or some grief is coming, if you try to push it away, expecting it to go away just like a thought, it doesn't happen like that. So the rule is still simple. Let all emotions come, but you don't believe a thought about it. Don't believe the thought that this should not come. Don't even believe I am running from it, or I should be here, or I should not be there. Just don't believe any thought. And it'll all play itself out just the way it is meant to. So that is the simplest way. Simplest way. Don't do anything. Don't even try to be neutral. Neutrality is also not a doing, it is a realization of what you are. Don't try to be neutral. Don't try to be enlightened. Don't try to be awake. Just don't believe a thought. If you could not do anything at all, If you could not do anything at all, then what trouble could there be? Suppose there's nothing you can do. So let's not even use a fancy word like doership or non-doership. Let's make it very practical. There is nothing you can do about anything at all, not even about freedom. Is that a troublesome concept or is it a freeing concept? Suppose there is nothing you can do about anything at all. Not a blade of grass you can move. What would life be like? Then you just witness all of this flowing, isn't it? And this witnessing is not a doing. You would say that you're doing the witnessing if there was an option for you to stop. Do must go with not do. If it's not possible to not witness, then how can we call it a doing? All that we do is just the pretending to do. Just like I can pretend that I am coughing on purpose. See? I am doing this cough. But it is just a happening. It is just a happening. If you get rid of this sticky concept that I am the doer of something, then it is the most freeing. This burden of the doer is very heavy to carry. Not in reality, but just it seems so heavy. I'm going to give my throat a break for a few minutes. Maybe we can play a song. Lizal, do you have something that you can play?
Yes, Father.
Thank you, my dear.
3 minutes.
Beloved Father, who dwells within the soul of my being, whose name is I am. Veneration to your holy name. Thy kingdom is here. Thy will prevails throughout the earth as it does in the heavenly realms of my soul. You open your hands and satisfy the hunger of all living beings. You heal all hearts of sorrow, so that they in turn may show forgiveness to those whose minds are shrouded in ignorance of the self. Beloved Mother, who imparts to all the sense of choice, so we may finally come to choose you who are truth, and thus find everlasting freedom. Glory to your name, O truth. For yours is the kingdom of existence, of peace and love. All power and glory emanates from you alone, who imparts to all the wisdom, light, love, and courage to refer to themselves as I am. Amen. Oh. This is all taking place in your presence. Do anything thoughts arise from the ocean of the self. It is all taking place in the presence of you. Even a full flight of the mind, there is an inner stillness, a deeper seeing going on.
It's okay, it can play, it can play.
Just be the witness in the sea. I will change and transform into quietness in the sea. I will change and transform into silence. Be one with this. as a witness. Be one with this. Just be the witness. Thoughts arise, calling you to play. Something gravitates, something goes out. Attention is drifting. What watches this? Even in full flight of the mind, the movement is quiet. From this inner place, a deeper seeing going wrong. Be one with this. Just stay as a witness. Be one with this. Just be the witness. Be one with this. Just stay as a witness. Be one with this. Just be the witness.
Very good. This one is so amazing, isn't she? Found the perfect song to play. Nitya said, Father, how beautiful to go with this. I can do nothing about anything. It leads directly to just seeing what is there. You can do nothing, nothing, nothing. Life is doing whatever it has to. Consciousness, God, being is doing whatever it has to. So stop pretending that you are doing anything at all. And see how much freedom is there. The ego cannot survive without doership. Is there a part of you that still believes that I can do something? Let's expose that one. Must check. Must check. Is there a part of me that still believes that I can do something? Let's shine the light on this one. Claire says, yes, there is. Yes. Very good. So do you want to come up? Yeah. Lizal says, you who? Yes, exactly. So Claire will come up first. You can unmute her mic.
Can you hear me, Ananta?
Yes, I can now. Very good.
Okay.
So this one that believes that it can do something. Who sees this one?
It's emptiness. Emptiness sees this one very clearly.
And are you this emptiness, or are you the one that is seen?
I'm the emptiness.
Then who must this one be that feels that can do something? If you are not that, then what must it be?
It is a figment of my imagination.
It
Very
is
clear.
very good, very good. This imagined one, the minute you say already that it is just a figment of my imagination, then it cannot cause much trouble. Imagination can only cause trouble when you believe it to be real, isn't it?
Yeah.
But do you really believe that the person can do anything at all?
I don't believe that anymore because the evidence is apparent that isn't real, and so I think it's just like an old habit that kind of just comes in at the edges or something like that.
Yes. This is very good, very good. Very good to see this because, like you said, that it's just a habit and it has been developed over a long time. But as long as it is seen like this, it will just keep fading away. Just keep fading away. Already, when you say that there is something here, then already you are saying that it is not me. It is very good. All of you have started saying that there is something here. You're not saying that I am the doer. There is belief that I am the doer. You're not saying that. You're saying that there is something here, some energy which still pretends that it is the doer. Already then it is seen that it is just a appearance, just another appearance.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. This is very good. So much love, my dear. Thank you so much. And we are not even waiting for this to fade away, you see. It's not even a waiting. The waiting can seem like a doing. There's not even an interest for when this is going to fade away completely. Because this feeling, this appearance does not truly impede us in any way, you see. It can come, it can be strong, it can dance, it can do whatever it wants, but in reality, it cannot impede us in any way. You do not stop being you, even if there is belief that I am the doer. And non-doership does not mean that it becomes a passive state. It is not a passive state of existence. Just the seeing that I never did anything at all. And the one who has been doing everything can continue to do everything the way it sees fit. It is just not my problem anymore. Nothing is your problem anymore. Not even freedom is your problem anymore. Not even getting something or not getting something is your problem. That's why I say that let the one who is beating your heart take care of everything. Who is beating your heart? Let that one take care of everything. The big mystery is to see how we can so clearly see that there is no person here anymore, and yet the belief in personal doership takes longer to go than even the concept of the person. The funniest thing. Because it is the person actually trying to subtly come in and say that I, as a person, don't see the person anymore. Actually, you see. Only you see that there is no person, but the interpreter comes in and says, yes, yes, I see there is no person. I did it. And did Zoe want to say something as well?
Namaste, Father.
Okay, my dear.
It's a really subtle thing here that in my day-to-day life, everything feels pretty open, like it's flowing, whether I'm doing something or not, whether emotions are arising or not. But the latest thing now is a voice that comes in after the fact going, oh, you did that really well. And that's what I mean. There's still this little, it's like the interpreter pops up and comments on, it used to be bad commentary, and I found I learned to just disbelieve all of that,
Yes.
And now it's the nice stuff that it's saying, oh,
Yes.
that was a really lovely thing you said there. And that's the thing that's, but it's seen, you know, it's seen. So, and as you were talking to Claire, I felt even that just becoming, well, it's not even a problem, but I just wanted to bring it to you anyway.
Right? So you can say all this and you can laugh at it, but don't take it seriously, you see. Because the instant you take it seriously means that, oh, I did that well, and it's just setting you up for failure. Just setting you up for failure so that tomorrow it can tell you that yesterday you did a good job, but today you're not up to the mark.
Yes.
Remember the story I told you about me playing with my daughter, and we were playing this game where she's supposed to hit my hand like this. No, I keep my hand like this, and she's supposed to come and hit it if she can. And what happened is that she kept losing because I was too fast. She kept losing, so she lost interest in playing. So she lost interest very fast. So if I wanted to keep playing with her, I had to let her win a few times. So I let her win a few times, and she says, "Yes, I'm getting there. I can do this game." You see, and then she was back to playing. So the same way, the ego will be negative, and then you lose interest. After a point, how much negativity will you take? It will lose to this dispassion, you see. And when that dispassion is coming and the ego sees that you're losing interest in playing like this, it will say, yes, you're going well. Finally, you're starting to get something. That tomorrow again, it can start with the game of you losing. So these can be just tactics for it to play with. But if you just listen to it like it's a comedian, then no problem.
Yes.
Just don't take it seriously.
Thank you, Father. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome, my dear. It's all just happening, you see. Everything is just happening. You did a good job, you did a bad job. All this means nothing. Everything is just happening on its own. And you're just watching. It's like we bought tickets to this show, which started when life was 0 years. And the show lasts till whatever tickets we bought. 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever. You're just watching the life of this, like we said the other day, the adventures of whatever your name is. You're just watching. And the world is also getting there, you see. This world is also getting to that point. So now we have 3D, now we have 4D, and you have IMAX, you have all these immersive experiences, you see. And then pretty soon someone will have a machine which you get plugged into and some emotion will come. When you're watching the movie also, some emotion will come, you know. And this voice, this narrator will be there, this interpreter will be there. Then you could have ego inside the ego as well. All this is possible. The world is getting there. Even in this realm, it seems to be like this now. We want more and more immersive experiences. We are already in this immersive experience, already in this immersive movie. But our nature is playing out here as well. That even in this, we want it. So we don't know how many levels in we already are. How many levels in are we? We cannot tell. Whether this is a dream within a dream within a dream. It all seems real. And dream is a beautiful analogy, you see. It's a beautiful analogy. Because even in the dream, we see that I did this, you did that. All of this is very much happening in dreams also. But we can see when we wake up from the dream that it is all just happened on its own. All I did was watch. All I did was witness the dream. And it's completely verifiable. That's why I said in Satsang also the other day that don't take my word for it. Don't just believe my words. Try it out for yourself. See for yourself if this is true what I'm saying. See what moves your body. What is that moves your body? Is there a person there who creates the words that come out of your mouth? They just flow. Nitya says this is freedom. So much joy in this yes to life. In this yes to let come what comes. Yes, very good. This openness is the yes. This openness is the yes. No is resistance. No is ego. It's not like that movie, no? It's not like the movie Yes Man or whatever, the Jim Carrey movie, in which he says yes to everything, so everyone comes to him and keeps saying yes, yes. It's not like that. That is not the yes. The yes is just be open to whatever is arising from here also. See? That yes is neutrality. This yes is neutrality, where it doesn't matter what is being spoken from the mouth, but there is openness to whatever is arising. Okay, so let's make it simpler. Let's make it simpler. When we keep it broad, then it becomes a little confusing sometimes. So when I say that you are not the doer of your actions, it can seem too broad and confusing. So let's narrow it down. Let's say, who decides what words you are going to speak next? Just watch this. Who decides which words are going to come out from your mouth next? Is there a you that is deciding? This is simpler to see. Take any action like this. Narrow it down. If you keep it too broad and you say, I'm not the doer of my actions, some of you can see that. But if you want to make it simpler, then just narrow it down and say, who decides which words are going to come out of my mouth? Claire had said, everything you say is true. Thank you so much, and thank you for these satsangs. Thank you, my dear. I love them and I love you. I love you too. Very good. Bhagavati ji says, even surrender can only arise. It cannot be done by a surrenderer. Yes. Here, surrender is seen as simply happening. Life surrenders this one. Yes. That's why we say that surrender is not a doing. It is a realization. It is the realization that there was never a doer. There is no surrenderer. The surrenderer is also a concept. Very good. Zoe said, it feels like there can be a decision to speak from my heart and then the words just come. Very good. So let's look at this together. Maybe you can unmute. He says that it can seem like whether I am following this stream of thought or whether I'm going with intuition, this seems like a decision. And whose decision would this be? So it's very good that you look at it, because what we are getting to the point is the point of the fact that you are operating as beingness or consciousness when this sort of discrimination is in place. So the power of belief belongs to consciousness. I hope this is clear, because it is using the power of this belief that we get the person into existence. The imagined person comes into existence because we believe the concept that I am a person. So belief must be prior to personhood. Yes. And yet there is this power to believe. So we do say, do not believe your next thought. So who is this instruction for? Who is this pointing to? This is consciousness speaking to consciousness itself. And consciousness is the one doer. The one doer. And it is consciousness, as we say, that got deluded by all of this, and it is consciousness itself which is deprogramming itself. See? Because if the person tries to understand how this decision was made, the person would not understand.
Yes.
The person cannot. So if two thoughts are coming, I must go left, and another thought is coming, I must go right. The person can only pretend by giving more and more data. But the fact is, the decision happens at a deeper place. So consciousness is the only decision maker. So just like the mind comes in and says, this was my thought, the mind comes in and says, this was my action, the same way the mind comes in and says, this was my decision.
Yes. It's always after the fact. It's always after the fact.
Always.
It's always
Yes. So as long as this feeling is there, that I can choose to follow my thought or follow my intuition, we can keep making the choice of following the Sadguru in the heart. As long as this feeling is there, then when this complete dissolution of this concept of choice will be seen, then it will be seen that this decision was also taken by consciousness alone. There is nobody else operating in this world. So again, I remind you that in the dream analogy, all of this is very clear. Although it seems like there is a person deciding which way the dream is going, you see that it is your consciousness itself which is projecting in this way. Very good, very good. Nick had said, suddenly mind burps up a soapy bubble jigsaw puzzle from one of the numerous story albums to entertain and somehow cunningly confirm personalization that I do exist and I am making it as a hero or anti-hero, failure or success, or even a successful failure. Nonetheless, all as a personified story. Before I'm aware of the next thought or can catch it in its stride, this intrusive, habitual construct has linked onto the branches of an elusive world of imagination that seems momentarily exciting only to sink into superfluous desolation. Exactly. This is like playing the game with the ego. It can give you the feeling that you're winning sometimes in the middle just to set you up for failure. Isn't it? Very good. Suddenly, the whole movement is watched from a space that allows total freedom to exercise, perform, and express, but also to resign into the original source of stillness, from where it can perceive all this manifested beneath it. Very beautiful, very good. A vacuum, though so present, filled can feel devastatingly as a negatively void to the ego. Yes, I choose to be quiet and open to the moment to moment unfolding. What else to expect is surely suffering. This is very beautiful. Actually, the truth is that it has always been only watched like this. Yeah? And this truth is dawning on you now. So you say suddenly the whole movement is watched from a space that allows total freedom. This has always been the case. It's only that this truth is dawning on your own self now. You see? That's why it can seem like it is new, but it has always been like this. You have always been only the witnessing. It's just that we confused ourselves to be the content of where our attention was going. And now we are seeing where is attention reporting to whom is attention reporting. So we've switched our perspective from where it is going to where it is reporting. At whose service, to whose service is this attention? That is the question we are asking. And we see that it is always in service to us. And we say that it can be scary or can feel devastating to the ego, yes. Because it is the end of the domination of the ego. To see the ego as another appearance, just another appearance, is the end of its dominance. So it can say that this is very scary, stay away from this void. That's what it can try to tell you. It's very good. So if Nick would like to say something, he can come up as well. In the meanwhile, I'll just read what Sukhbir is saying. Sukhbir is saying, Father, it seems that I keep on having questions and they seem to resolve themselves in the listening. Not listening to anything in particular, but to see while I'm typing that these questions are not true. I have already deleted 3 while typing. The mind will play like this, you see. The mind will pretend to still be seeking, still be seeking. I have this question, what about this, what about that? This doesn't go away. And then in the presence of satsang, then you shine your own light on it actually. You're trying to find a true question, you see. Otherwise, we are quick to believe our question. But when you're put in this situation where you're in front of the Sangha, then you're trying to find a true question. And in trying to find the true question, most questions start dissolving. This is very good. This is the point of satsang also, and the point of Sangha also, so that we can really look, we can shine our own light on our questions, on our own concepts. What is the true question that you have? This is very good. And in this, staying with this, okay, what is the true question I have? Then all the gibberish from the mind just starts to get dissolved. It starts to go away.
Hello, Ananta.
Namaste, my dear.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
So welcome.
My heart is thumping here because all of a sudden I'm up front on the hot seat and there's nothing really to say, but I would love to face this this void, as it were, not having anything to say at all. So.
Oh, yeah. So we say that I want to face this void. So there's a void, and who witnesses this void?
Actually, it's the one that just came up here.
Yeah.
It feels like.
So it can seem like there's this energy that came up, and this one must be facing the void. But who saw that something came up? Who is witnessing even this one coming up? Who seems to be scared of the void?
The awareness,
And is this awareness touched by this one that is coming up and will leave? Anything that is coming up is going to leave. So is it touched? Is the awareness touched in any way by this one?
I'm formulating an intellectual answer for that one, so it's not valid.
Don't do that. That's not required. You can just check. So there is some sensation that there is some energy which is feeling fearful of the void. See, the void is there. It is an image of this void, and some energy is feeling fearful of it. Who is watching all of this play out? And you said it is the awareness. You said it is the awareness. Okay, so the question was, is this awareness touched in any way by any of this play?
No, it isn't.
It
was just semantics. I was getting confused with the actual words of awareness and being. No, I can feel there's, let's call it a space which is untouched by all the lila, all the playing. Yeah.
Yes. And what does it seem like? This space looks like what?
Oh, it's a tremendous piece.
Mm.
Yes, there's a yes. I'm glad you asked this because it's around me all the time. I can feel that. In fact, I can see it so much that when I'm describing something or going into, I can see that as a very clear, just expression. It's just an expression. It's not reality. It's just the lila, as you say, you know. So this is what I felt like reporting, is that over the last few weeks, I've really been consistently hovering in this space of neutrality. Ever since we first spoke, I've been giving a lot of, I think, word would almost be permission, actually, but a lot of space to resting and relaxing, letting go, and it's sparked off a lot of hidden repressions, emotions, actually. And so a lot of things have been flowering up as well. And funnily enough, in that letting go, I felt the awareness much clearer, as if to say that it needed also to be relaxed. It's strange. It all comes together, it seems. It's almost like making an equation. I relaxed, therefore I'm becoming more aware, more at home, more in peace.
So let's look at this. You say that I could see that the awareness was a lot clearer. So I have a feeling that what you're speaking of is that as you relaxed, which means that as you let everything just, as you became more open, everything was allowed to flow, and there was some peace, some joy which came from this. And you could see that there's this presence here which is a lot clearer. Now, the question is, the one that saw even this, all of this play out, who is this one? Who is this one that saw even all of this play out? And is there a before and after for this one? Or this one has always been the same?
Yeah.
And if it's possible for you to have your video on, that will be good as well. If it's not possible, it's okay.
No, it's because I'm in the tent and there's no light here. My eyes are shut, and I'm trying to really fathom into this one. I think I get very caught up.
Don't try to solve it with the mind, you see.
Yes, well, that's it. You see,
it's not a riddle. Mind will make a riddle out of it.
I'm an artist like Muji, Ananta. I got a very vivid imagination. So I've. Can I just put it this way, asking you, when you say this, refer to this this awareness, to what sees everything.
Yes.
What comes to mind, or what comes to my appearance, is it's an all. It's like an omnipresent sensation. I'm trying to find the description for it. I can see on one hand all these manifestations happening and emotions, thoughts, and I can also see what you're saying, that there is the one that is seeing all this. I can see that.
But who is the one that sees all this? So you say very rightly, I can see even that there is one who sees all this. So are you this one that sees all this, or you are the one that sees even this one? You see what I'm saying? We can slow it down if you like.
Which brings me to the point, well, why on earth would I ever go into all the manifestations if I can just stay in that space, which I presume is the oneness, the stillness,
So how would you step into a manifestation? Is it even possible?
No, because it doesn't exist.
Suppose even if it did, so suppose that everything here is real, the computer in front of you is real, your tent is real, all of this is real. Then you, as what and how will you operate in this manifestation? Can you stop being the witnessing, and can you actually become this body mind and operate in this manifestation? You see, so that would mean that witnessing is not what you are anymore, and you are just a body-mind. You can pretend to do this, that I'm not arguing with. Most of humanity is pretending to do this. But can it really happen?
No, it can't happen because I've been down there and been there, done that, and it's totally exhausting. I'm out. I'm through with it. I'm not going that way again. So I'll do anything but. And I think that's why my inquiry is so earnest to really just stay with what is real.
This is good, but it seems like it is coming from a choice that you're making. So we are talking even subtler than that. We're saying that even if there was something which seemed to make the choice to be completely involved in all this content of appearances, would you stop being the witnessing of it then in that case?
No, no.
So this means that even when it seemed like you were completely involved with the content of the appearance, even then you were just the witnessing of it, isn't it?
Yes.
And hence you were untouched by all that had happened.
Yes.
I can't look into your eyes right now, so I don't know whether
I
yes.
promise you I'm not hiding, Ananta. It's just because literally there's no electricity here where I am. So
No, I know.
I would gladly look into your eyes. There's no problem with that.
So then, is there really a choice you have to make?
No, it's choiceless. It's choicelessness. Would the analogy of the camera that is filming
Yes.
the whole time without judgment, unconditional love, it seems to me to be the best description of the one that perceives, the one who sees everything and sees the manifests, sees the emotions, thoughts, everything that comes into play. I was just finding it difficult to describe the link that I have with that camera, with that perceiving.
Yes.
Um,
So what is the link that you have with it? This is very good.
yeah, the link. Yeah, it's funny. The link is very often still.
So first let's define what needs to be linked with what. So on one hand there's this camera or the perceiving, and on the other hand is what?
On the other hand, is the identification with all the manifestations, with all the thoughts, judgments, and emotions.
So does this identification have to be linked to the camera? And where are you in all of this?
No, I can see it quite black and white. The emotions, thoughts, and the passing clouds have nothing to do with me.
Yes, very good.
With the real me. That's very clear for me. And
so when we take out all the appearances and we say that they are all in front of me, they have nothing to do with me, then what remains?
oh, just this beautiful void, this beautiful.
And who is the witness of even this void? Huh? Who sees that only the void remains? Is that you or is the void you? Or is it same?
Yeah, it's terminology that's getting me mixed up here. It feels the same. The space that is me, the real self I am. It happens to be feeling like a void, not a positive or negative, but just a empty, open space, absolute, if you want to call it. It feels like that. I get mixed up on the perceiving the perceiver bit. That gets me a little bit, because then you can also say that the perceiver is watching the perceiver of the other perceiver. It just goes on and on. So I tend to just stick with this omnipresent sensation that I have, which is that all the clouds are passing in the empty sky, and I'm the empty sky. It's about as neat as I can make it.
Yes.
And that over the last few weeks, as I was saying, I've just been feeling this emptying of, even before the emotions and thoughts come up, I'm just almost making, I don't want to use the word choice, but I'm almost not interacting with those branches and roots that just lead on to further and further imagination, and just staying quiet, just to put it in Papaji's terms, just being still and staying quiet, and as I said, as I just wrote to you, just sort of leaving it in this unfolding, that everything in life is just absolutely unfolding moment to moment, and the moment that I expect it to be something else, this automatic suffering, and I'm fed up with suffering. This is the point.
So very good. I think that for suffering we've made it very clear. For suffering we've given you all the master key, and it is, I find, impossible to suffer if you just use this key and don't believe your next thought.
Yes.
So suffering has been made very simple. Very simple. So that is fine. Now, you said that there is some trouble with the question of perceiving the perceiver, which my master calls the Pirhana question. Isn't it? The Pirhana question. But the mind will come and say, but this is an infinite loop. This seems like an infinite loop. Yeah, Marta wants to say.
When you ask us,
yes.
But who is that? It seems that the link of identification is broken.
Yes. So when I say who is the one, that who can even see the void, or who can even see the presence I am, then you say that the link of identification goes. Right? And who is what is the answer? What is the answer to the who? Awareness. If this is seen that this, I can say I, and when we say I as what, and we say awareness, then that is the answer. There is no loop actually. It is simple. So we say that even the presence I am is perceived. Even the presence I am is perceived. Then we say, can the perceiver of even this presence I am be perceived?
This perceiver knows it's
Yes, all encompassing, isn't it? Same here.
Oh, that's a nice word, all encompassing. That was great.
But not in the phenomenal sense, you see. Not in the phenomenal sense. Because every time I hear the word space or void, I start smelling for whether this is coming from a phenomenal or a temporal spatial sort of space. You see, it's a non-spatial space. You see, it's not a phenomenal space. So even a word like all-encompassing, I get a little worried, although I've used it myself, is that confused to be like this all-encompassing space. It is not like that. It is an analogy. It is the spaceless space. It is the stateless state. It is the feelingless feeling.
But in this way we can say that I am all of that.
Yes. And yet we can say I am none of that also. Because all is happening in front. So we can say all of this is me because it seems to arise in me, but I continue to be the untouched witnessing of all of this as well. Don't try to make the mind understand. If you try to make the mind understand, then it will be long. Here it's very simple. You're perceiving the computer, you're perceiving this body here. You're perceiving, if you close your eyes, there's perceiving of thoughts, there's perceiving of emotion, and there's perceiving even of the sense that I am the holy presence of being. I am. It's perceiving. Who is the perceiver? Can this perceiver be perceived? In fact, it is the chopping of any loops. I don't see how a loop can be formed in this, because there's a perceiving of the pure presence I am. Who is the perceiver? It's as simple as that. Perceiving is there. That much is clear. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So perceiving
Yes.
is there. What is the separation between you and this perceiving? What is the distance between you and this perceiving?
No
Okay.
distance at all.
There is no distance. You see. Then, if there is no distance, then what must you be?
It just makes it very clear that all the manifestations are just passing clouds. That's what comes to me. You know, just
So that part is very clear, that all that is appearing is just coming and going like the passing clouds. There is no debate about that. What we are looking at is who is witnessing the passing of these clouds. Is there an entity here? Is there a perceiver entity? Is there a witness entity? Are you a noun? Are you a thing?
When I am the wings, who
Yes.
is behind,
Yes.
they are passing clouds.
Yes.
But when I am the wind is in itself, I am that flow.
And is there a difference when I'm witnessing behind? That means my attention is going in front like that. And when my attention is just at home, it is not going anywhere. There are not even clouds. Isn't it? But can you become something else other than the witnessing? Not possible. Then that is why we say that you are not a noun, you are a verb. You are not the seer, but you are the seeing itself. The problem with the word awareness, little bit, is that awareness seems like a noun. You see, it seems like an entity, that I am something tangible. It is not true like that.
Ananta,
Yes.
just as a form of further inquiry, in your case, for example, are you constantly vigilant in a effortless way?
Yes.
Because
But
I've heard Papaji mention often about having to be constantly vigilant with
vigilant till my
awareness.
dying breath, he said. He said, vigilant till my dying breath, isn't it? But it was not a vigilance which was like a very active doing, that I'm just vigilant like this. It's not like that. It's just that it's open, completely open. And in this openness, if there's something that seems to prick, then the vigilance comes up and says, how does this still bother? How does this still pinch? And then that is looked into, that is just imagined and let go. You see? So it's not a state which is like this constricted, because I would not call that freedom. You see, especially for such a great master as Papaji, I would not imagine that he's constantly concerned about what is passing through the mind. He's not. It's not like that. It's just a very open sort of state. And then if a slight pinch comes from somewhere, it is looked into, inquired, and dropped in an instant. So that is vigilance. It's a very natural sort of a sahaj vigilance. You see, it's not a constricted state at all. So it can be that everything can flow, 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 flow. Then something comes suddenly, pops up and says something. There is suffering. Little pinch comes and say, oh, what is this? And it's inquired into and goes. Just can take like a fraction of a second.
So just watching the twigs, as Muji puts it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything just coming and going. Sometimes little bit some pinch will come. And then you look at that and say, wow, what is this? That comes, and when it's looked at, then it goes. It becomes very natural like this. But it's not like a constant reminder that you have to give yourself, I am awareness, I am awareness, I am awareness. Not like that. It's not replacing one belief with another belief. It's not hard work also. We're not trying to replace one belief with another. All our life we've been exchanging one story for another. I'm this sort of person, I'm a good student, I'm a bad student, I'm a good worker, I'm a bad worker, I'm a rebel, I'm a whatever. We've been replacing one story, another story, one story, another story. The challenge with satsang is that it forces us to replace the story with nothing. We're so used to having another story to replace with. Now I'm saying that there is nothing. I'm not going to give you a replacement. And that becomes a problem. You see, at least you want the story of being an awakened person, but I will not give it to you. That's why I don't give that certificate.
Thank God.
Because I know that that certificate can cause the most trouble. You see.
I was watching Muji yesterday on the Satsang and thinking just what a wonderful space the Sangha and Satsang is to just be able to relax and be oneself without any demonstration, without showing any certificates, as you say, and this is just such a blessing. It really is. And I've been in this space with you for these last few weeks since we connected, and I'm just very, very grateful. I have no words for it.
Oh, same. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Very beautiful to connect in this way. And what he says is so true. You see, when I went to Thiru for the first time, and I came to the satsang for the first time, I felt like anything can flow. Anything is allowed. You see, it was the first time probably in my life that it felt like everything is allowed. And just if the body wants to fall off, it can fall off. If it wants to stand up and jump, it can jump. Everything is. So you've seen people in satsang now, people have come and screamed, they have come and told all kinds of funny stories. Some people start dancing, some people start crying and yelling. Everything is allowed. And no judgment about it at all happens. So in that itself, this is beautiful freedom to just let it flow. We got so entangled with being a certain way, with being prim and proper, and being, projecting ourselves properly and all of that, that this natural freedom to just let it flow, I found the first time in Tiruvannamalai when I went to satsang.
And having said that, mind you, as you know, I was with Osho in Pune, and and that experimentation was, I think, the richest exploration of self that I've ever come across in my life. And so all of a sudden, I've landed that airplane, of total sort of extravagance of all the emotions, of all the meditations, for example, that he was giving, and we were using the dynamic, the Kundalini, the whole works of it, just to get us totally exhausted in this world of sensation, and to know the ego, of course. Now. And so now it feels like a refinement. Ramana Maharishi, who he spoke of very sweetly as perhaps one of the most exquisite flowers in existence, but who did not, Ramana did not have this explosive, excited, sort of very Western type of mind exploration into existence. So of course it didn't appeal to many, but I'm feeling this as a flowering in myself now, that okay, I've been there, done that, and now I'm ready for just the sublime coming home. I don't know how. It seems like that. It seems like that.
Very good. And with this openness, you will find that it's completely clear, completely clear. Just this openness is required. That's good. Very good. Let's see what is there. Shakti says, "Beloved Father, you are proof of Sri Mujiji's love for us. Jai Guru. Jai Guru." Zoe said, "All is only freedom. Father, everywhere I look, and all the thoughts of doership are just so very irrelevant, just part of the play. They cannot touch me." Very good. At your holy feet. Thank you, my dear. Very good. Ishani said, "Yes, Father, I felt that if I think something is happening, then it's usually personal and needs to be looked at. Otherwise, nothing is happening. Then there is no thought about it." Yes. When no thought is giving belief, then nothing is happening. It's so beautiful that all of us are able to connect in this way. If you were to look at all the people in the hangout, we have Bhagwati ji and Nirmai from Portugal. Yes, very good. Nirmai is off to a job when? In a couple of days. In a couple of days. Very good. Very good. You will always stay here with me in my heart. Always with you. So much love. Thank you. It's so lovely every time I see both of you. It's very beautiful. So they are from Portugal. Claire is in the UK right now. Good. Jyoti is in the US. Nick is in Brazil. Lizelle is in South Africa. And we have Wo Van. I'm not sure where Wo Van is currently, but he can tell us maybe. And we have Zoe, who is in Australia. And Marta and I are sitting in Bangalore. Look at this. Bhagavati ji says we are away in Spain until April. I see. And so much love to you, all of you who are outside the hangout as well. I know that some of you, because of technical reasons, are not able to join. Atma is not able to join. Nitya is not able to join. But you're always with us. And I'm sure this technology thing will also sort itself out. Maybe we can end, look at the time. We can end with a quick invocation at the feet of the Master. Maybe Lizelle can do that. And Go Van is from Vietnam. So lovely to see you here. Good.
Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Dhyanam Guru Murti Pujamanam Guru Padam Mantramalam Guru Vakyam Mokshamalam Guru Kripa Mokshamalam Mujiti Kripa Mokshamalam Anantaji Kripa Ramanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanam Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasi Adilakshayam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvari Sakshi Mutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadguru Tam Namami Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you all so very much for joining in this beautiful satsang today. Ji ki jai.
Jai. Ananta ji ki jai.
Jay!
Jai.
Thank you, beloveds. Thank you. Much love.
Thank you, my dear. Long satsang today, huh? This might become a 24-hour thing. Marta is looking like she has to run away. So, next one. Starting now? No. Love you all so much. How to go? I'm always with all of you, always with you. You're all in my heart.
Bye, beloved.